Gettysburg, Pennsylvania, July 3, 1863. Confederate soldiers have pierced the center of the Union line on Cemetery Ridge. America's democratic experiment and the fate of millions of slaves hang in the balance. This so-called high tide of the Confederacy marked the end of the Battle of Gettysburg, where two mighty armies had been fighting for 3 days. It remains the largest battle ever fought in the Western Hemisphere. This moment is the focal point of French artist Paul Philippeau's massive Gettysburg Cyclorama, a 360-degree painting and diorama created in the 1880s. Although the cyclorama portrays the third day from the battlefield's center, it also depicts the rest of the battlefield very well. Here is the first day's battlefield, where Southerners outflanked and defeated Northern forces who retreated to the heights south of Gettysburg, Cemetery Hill, and Culp's Hill. For the next 24 hours, both sides brought their armies into position until the Confederates wrapped around the Union Army from Culp's Hill. Through Gettysburg. Along Seminary Ridge. Across the Gettysburg Road, to opposite the rugged Round Tops. July 2nd sees vicious fighting at iconic places: Devil's Den, Little Round Top, the Wheat Field, the Peach Orchard, along the Gettysburg Road, and on Culp's Hill and Cemetery Hill. The Union line holds. On July 3rd, Confederate General Robert E. Lee decides on what would become the most famous assault in American history, Pickett's Charge. A massive 90-minute artillery bombardment precedes the attack. Then, 12,000 Confederate soldiers march across 1 mile of open terrain, subjected to Union artillery fire. The rebels are not in one line. They are in clumps and groups of regiments and brigades. Confederates suffer horrendous casualties but continue on toward the Union line. When the Yankees issue a hail of iron and lead, still, the Southerners press on and pierce the Union line. Victory is at hand. But it's a fleeting illusion. Union General George Meade has called for tens of thousands of reinforcements, which are now arriving. The Confederates are soon overwhelmed. The moment of great promise turns into a complete Confederate disaster. Only half of those who made the charge return to Seminary Ridge, and those who charged the farthest are killed or captured. The Union Army wins a decisive victory on its own soil, but the war continues for 2 more years. Union General John Gibbon, who commanded the troops here, saw the painting 3 times and said, "You may rest assured you have a sight to see before you die. It is simply wonderful, and I have never before had an idea that the eye could be so deceived by paint and canvas. I say nothing more than the truth when I tell you it was difficult to disabuse my mind of the impression that I was actually on the ground." Longer than a football field, the incredible Gettysburg Cyclorama, along with its substantial diorama, is far more impressive in person at the Gettysburg National Military Park Museum and Visitor Center.
Hello, this is Trace Atkins. Get inspired at battlefields.org.